like, dude, you know,
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell at you.
No, you're good.
This is passion. It's not anger. And like the
Take this in.
thing is like it's because it's more fun to do shit like this, and then like some of the funnest conversations happen right before everything starts. Cheers,
I know,
buddy.
it's horrible.
Did I tell you about the time where I was on stage and there were these two guys standing there, and I was like, oh look, they were sitting at the table, and I was like, oh, it's the boys. They just got back from Top Golf because they were just dressed like polo shirts and stuff. And then they had some zins, and there were like 3 of them, and I go, oh, boys are stop popping some zins with the boys. They're saving money. They're interchanging the zins. They each get 5 minutes with the packet, and they're like switching it as like a bit.
I thought you were saying they were actually.
No, they weren't actually doing it. I was playing out the scenario on stage of them doing that.
Right.
And then I paused for a moment. I go, can I have one? and what I did is they're like, yeah. And I go, yeah. Come on stage and put it in my mouth.
Oh my God.
And so. As he walks to the stage, I get on my knees.
Yeah, like a baby bird.
Well, yeah, kind of like a baby bird. As he walks to the stage, I get on my knees and I just go.
Oh my God, dude. What if he pulled out his dick? He could have whipped it out right there. You would have been exposed.
He could have, and for the bit, I might have done it. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Is I'm so dedicated to making people laugh, I might accidentally suck a cock if I think it's going to make 2 people laugh that I don't even like.
Well, you're talking on a podcast that I claimed at 17 I would be molested by Tony Hinchcliffe or Tim Dillon to get just stage time.
Yeah.
And I would have said thank you. And this was when all that Me Too stuff was coming out around
right.
Kevin Spacey. And I was saying, you know what? These people, if I was in their position, I would say thank you. You know what I mean?
Kevin Spacey, I got some space for Kevin back here.
What's going on? Can I get in the movie or not? I don't understand. But anyway. No, so I do think that is a disease of comedians. We would do anything for a laugh.
We would do anything for a laugh. I think I've gotten better about it now. And also, you're going to see me interchangeably take out the Zin and put it back in my mouth because I am very sensitive to everything. Seriously, you saw how stoned I got the one time we took that little baby hit after the show last week?
Yes.
My friends call me the one-hit wonder. I literally just take one little baby hit and I'm fucking fried. I'll be in the fetal position in the bathroom crying. Like, I'll fucking, not that deep, but like, I'll feel insecure. I'll be like, everyone fucking hates me right now.
Right. You need the mid-tier.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I can never like smoke weed and go up on stage. I'll do it in right and it's fun and unique, but like I can't do smoke weed and then going up because I get so fucking spaced out.
George Carlin would do that a lot. That was famously George Carlin's process. Is he would write out all of his thoughts and then he would smoke weed and then he would go back and add the punchlines afterwards.
Yeah, and I could totally see that and looking at it from a different perspective. Now, I think once I get really, really good at this, I think then it might be a little bit different. I think I can smoke weed because I can take mushrooms to go to work, and not like a lot of it, but I'll take a little nibble every now and again, allegedly, and go to work, and like, you know, then it's kind of fun because I'm like looking at it. Sometimes I have to like stare at an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, the numbers are dancing. You know what I mean? I get a little excited about it.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I think when you smoke weed and you go on stage, number one, it tests how well you know your material.
Yes.
So if you can remember it high, you can definitely remember it sober. For sure.
My problem, it's not even remembering it.
Yeah.
It's feeling the same energy about whatever I wrote about because I really want to, like, when I do a bit, it's usually something I think is funny, obviously, or I care about, or I have a certain feeling about. And so every time I do a bit, I want to try to bring myself to the same energy in which I wrote it. Because I feel like then I will perform it on stage the same way. Like my stuff, I have a lot of very high energy fun, like yelling about something. Maybe I'm ranting. And I try every single time to go back to that place of why I'm upset about it or why I think this is silly or crazy.
Yeah.
That way I can say the joke in the way that I meant it the first time I ever wrote it because I think it comes off way more organic that way. And I think if I'm stoned, I'll start to be like, if I'm upset about something, I'll be like, why am I really mad about that?
Yeah.
Should I be mad about that? Maybe I should show a little more empathy. And it's like, well, that's not what the joke's about. You know what I mean? So.
Right. But I think certain punchlines can come from that perspective that won't come from the other one. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying you should go up and be stoned when you do like a show,
for sure.
Obviously. But I think every once in a while, like at the Creek mic, if I'm at the Creek mic, baby, I'm stoned. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
Yeah, but you're just at the Creek mic to numb the pain that is going up at the Creek mic. That's the problem. It's not about creativity. It's about numbing the pain. And oh yeah, I want to find a creative angle to fucking talk about this other part of my joke that no one's gonna laugh at unless I say I'm a gay retard. Wee woo wee woo. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry you're gonna have to bleep probably that. But it's like that's the problem with the fucking Creek in the Cave open mic at midnight. That's the problem with the Creek in the Cave in general. If I'm fucking being honest with you, I don't give a shit about like. If anybody listens and says that, like, I hate it. I fucking hate the energy. I think it's a great venue for people to watch it. I love the Creek. Before I started doing comedy, I would go and can you tell the fucking shit's kicking in? I'm fucking. I had to take the Zin out of.
You had that coffee and the Zin, and you are on fire.
I might as well have snorted a line. I've never done cocaine, and that's I couldn't. It'd be a fucking problem. I might snort a line of cocaine and take a nap. It might do the opposite for me.
No. You'd have 7 podcasts by the end of it. You would just start podcasts and streams.
Somebody's got a joke about that. Some comic from decades ago had that joke about how he's going to start 9 businesses that he'll never bring to fruition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have interesting ththings I think about and talk about on podcasts, and I thought about this. It just crossed my mind. This would be interesting to throw it at you.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to make a statement. The entire you're
looking at physical comedy, baby.
Yeah, you're looking at me like I'm gonna say something like Nick Fuentes. Like all of a sudden,
I'm ready, dude. No. You're like, I don't think Hitler was that bad. I gotta look at the time. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Is it 45 minutes
already?
Yeah, that's your minimum.
I think his finger paintings were great.
No, I think the entire Austin scene.
Oh yeah,
or Austin City is a podcast.
Elaborate.
I think 24/7 there is a podcast stream or show or some sort of online thing going on 24/7 in Austin, Texas, at least somewhere in the area.
Or one of those man on the street interview things. If I see one more man on the street trying to interview someone, I'm going to punch him in the face. And it's a win-win because I get to punch him in the face and then he's going to go viral. And I think it's just a win-win for everybody at that point. You know what I mean?
The best are at the Kill Tony signups.
Yeah.
When you see someone interviewing Kill Tony sign-uppers, I don't know. I might be talking shit about people that I'm going to run into.
I don't give a fuck. Dude, I'm the most speak my mind person, and I know this makes me sound like a fucking piece of narcissist or whatever, but like, I am so, I grew up in, and sorry to kind of like derail what you're saying, and we can go back to this after.
No.
I grew up in a household where I wasn't, like, if I spoke my mind, I kind of got like ridiculed.
Right.
In a way, we're like, but it's weird because my mom was like an alcoholic, kind of fucked up person, but she taught me a lot of things. Like she was very vocal. Is this me? Are you doing that?
No.
I couldn't tell.
Me itching my
I thought you were signaling to me like you got a fucking
cliffhanger.
But I swear I'm not on cocaine. The Zin I had to take. I'm holding this into my palm right now, waiting for the opportune moment to put it back in. But
what is going on, dude? Dude, what did I put in that Zin, bro? I think I might have accidentally drugged you, bro.
I don't know, but how much for the rest of them? But dude, it's really frustrating seeing these guys like hanging out at the Creek till midnight and getting like shit faced.
Yeah.
And then doing these man on the street interviews when I'm like, brother, you should just go home and write.
The Hawk to a Girl really destroyed a lot of minds.
Yes. Well, did you hear about the whole thing with the Hawk to a Girl and the guy that interviewed the whole thing? Like,
yeah, he's like not famous, right?
No, and because no one gives a fuck about him. It's about the person they interviewed that goes viral. And the thing is, like, he did that, and then he like tried to like sue her because she got all of her fame from him, and it was like this whole weird thing. And it's like, I just don't think the man that dude. If you're not Andrew Callahan, stop interviewing people on the street.
Right.
I think he's fucking fantastic, and it's like no one's gonna ever do it better than him in like for at least for the next 10 years, in my opinion. And I could be wrong. This is just kind of like me thinking out loud.
Yeah, I know it's tough. It's tough to tell somebody to stop doing when I've been doing a podcast for 4 years that hasn't taken off.
Yeah, of course. But also don't listen to me. You know what I mean? Like, do what you love and do your art, and because like all the shit that we do, most people think is fucking dumb. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Like. And doing a podcast 4 years ago was cool. Now it's lame and dumb and hack, and nobody gives a fuck about it anymore, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm ready for comedy to be dumb again and lame. I'm ready for comedy to not be cool anymore.
Well, Tim Dillon's going to Saudi Arabia, so
that's the thing. We're about there. When Tim Dillon will interview, we'll give a soft interview to a political person like the Vice President of the United States over a shrimp tower. Yes. That's when we know that comedy's getting bad again, and I'm ready for it.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree. I think in regards to that particular interview, I think Tim likes to make friends.
Yeah, but I loved Tim Dillon, and we could talk about this too, where it's like I loved Joe Rogan for the longest time.
Yeah.
I was a little Joe Rogan head since I was 19, because he used to be about like it's just so dumb talking about Joe Rogan on a fucking podcast. I'm gonna kill myself, but like
I know.
But the thing is, like, he did used to be fucking cool, and I defended him for the longest time, and then COVID came through, and like believe what you want about COVID or whatever. I respect anybody's opinions, but like there's a point where he stopped asking people questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he stopped. No matter what your beliefs are, he stopped asking people questions, and he stopped calling people out. Like, he'll interview these people where it's like, how about you ask Elon about the fucking Hitler salute instead of being like, oh yeah, like that was obviously dumb, right? How about be like, where was your mind at with that? Like, just a kind of he's just so biased in every person he talks to now, and it's frustrating.
Well, I think he doesn't want to be confrontational on the podcast. I think he's always more so about peace as he gets older.
But it'll be confrontational when it's about somebody like that with something he doesn't believe, like where it's like someone's like maybe spouting some lefty shit, and then he'll be like, and not to say he has some leftist beliefs where it's like, again, we should just switch the topic now.
No,
like,
I like this.
He has this
interested.
He has this like, because he does have lefty beliefs. Like, he believes women's bodies like are their own and they should decide for abortion. He thinks that's bullshit. Like, he believes in women's rights, and that's the thing that I like.
Marijuana legalization,
all that stuff. But then like out of nowhere, he'll just start going on a rant about COVID and whatever, and then he'll be like, yeah, these fucking liberal blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm one of you, and it's like, no, you're not anymore. And that's fine, and that's cool, but like fucking, I don't know, it's just really frustrating seeing him like bounce around and then interview these people and give these people like really softball interviews instead of asking them things that like maybe would be a tough question to ask. And I think the best podcasts are when people ask people tough questions that are in power.
I agree with all of that. I also think that if you push too hard, these people aren't going to come on the podcast.
Good. And then that says more than them going on the podcast anyways.
That's true. I think it's good for these people to talk on podcasts.
Yes.
Like,
because then you see their true colors.
Right. Yeah. Well, this was the thing. And Joe Rogan, and this is just one example, but when Joe Rogan interviewed Trump, a lot of people were like, he should have given more shit about the stealing of the election. But what I saw was that Joe Rogan very casually was like, hey, what do you think about the stolen election thing? And Trump had nothing.
Yep.
Literally fucking nothing.
And he could have dug in, and he did that to Bernie. And Bernie fucking answered his questions. I was a big Bernie head. I think he's a bit of a pussy now, but I love him still.
I think Bernie's more open to. Well,
I'm also an idiot.
Yeah,
like, I know nothing about politics.
I understand that.
I got my GED.
He
you know what I'm saying?
He did give some softball Bernie questions. Like,
sure.
Okay, you think that no one should have any money, but Bernie Sanders has 3 homes in their own mansions.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't see Joe Rogan ask that question.
Right.
So there's always a level of, like, I also think it's a little Monday night quarterbacking a little bit, where it's like, dude, I think you're going up to the interview and you're saying, I'm going to get a hard conversation, I'm going to ask the right questions, and then all of a sudden, Trump or Benjamin Netanyahu is in front of your face.
Yo, that's
what?
Netanyahu is fucking funny.
What? Benjamin Netanyahu? Look, he's in front of you.
That's a good pun.
And you know what? You fumble a little bit.
Yeah. How about let's go back to not putting political people on fucking, because he thinks he's. I know he's afraid of the state of the world, and he's trying to save the world.
Yes.
Stop that. Stop it. You're a podcasting comedian that fucking jumps on a stool and humps it and goes, bah! Stop trying to save the world.
Well, this is, who else is there is always the problem, is who else is there. And also, here's the other thing that I'm going to back that up.
Right.
That is unfortunately the state of the country.
Right.
That is how bad things have gotten.
I'm putting this in back in.
Where it's, where it is like, no, he's horrible. He shouldn't be asked, or Joe Rogan isn't horrible. But in terms of interviewing politicians, probably not the best guy.
No.
Who else? The media, the mainstream media, the corporate media, I guess I should say, they're going to interview these people.
I got a good one. I think Andrew Callahan's great. I think he gives really non-biased interviews to people. I think CoffeeZilla is fucking fantastic. If you know who he is, he started on YouTube doing like crypto scam videos. He would, debunk all the shit and be like, "Oh, these guys are doing crypto scams, crypto pump and dumps." He did one about Trump. Now he's kind of leaning into politics, not because he really wanted to, because out of necessity. Now he's doing videos on the Epstein stuff. And he's breaking it down so cohesively. There's no bullshit in what he's saying. It's very, not confusing. And that's what the problem. Every time we talk about politics, we all get confused.
Oh,
And CoffeeZilla does a great job of breaking down this is just incorrect. The CIA said this, the FBI said this. Here's why it's wrong because of literally documents they released, but they're saying something different than what the documents say that he released, and here's why. And it's fucking great. And that guy, that's who I would vote for to be a president. I know it sounds crazy to think of a YouTube, but that's where we are.
Yeah.
CoffeeZilla is great. Andrew Callahan's great. Non-biased journalism. I just think that's fucking. And we're humans. We can't be non-biased, but as non-biased as you possibly can.
Of course.
I fucking like that. Also, what's his name? Hunter Biden interview that Andrew Callahan. Do you know who he is? Channel 5 guy.
Yes.
All gas, no breaks.
Yes.
He did this interview about Joe Biden, and have you seen that interview where
and he breaks down crack cocaine and how well it is, and he sounds like the most intelligent human being of all time.
Did you see the eyes? If you rewatch the interview and watch how his eyes light up, like he's talking about a long lost love, when he's talking about freebasing cocaine.
The thing is, though, that I found so interesting is as he was talking about it, he almost acknowledged, he's lighting up just thinking about it.
And I appreciate that self-awareness. And he's like, I actually don't even want to talk about this anymore because A, I don't want to give people more insight and glorify this, and also I don't want to do that for other people and myself because I don't want to fall back off.
Right. And it's crazy where dude, you watch that interview where if he was in politics, he might be one of the smartest politicians ever, and he's talking about crack cocaine and doing it.
And he's not even that bad.
No.
They're like, oh my God, he paid for prostitutes and
Didn't he put a gun in a hooker's mouth though?
Now,
was that? Now it probably was unloaded.
And
it's probably a kink.
Here's the deal: if she asked him to put a gun in her mouth and make it come, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's nothing wrong with that consensually.
No, I'm not prudes.
And as long as the gun clicks.
Well, we're at this point now. We're at this point where it's I'd rather take someone who puts guns in hookers' mouth over someone that fucks children.
Yes, and
it's just
best of both evils. Best of both evils.
Yes.
But at least he's promoting consensual sex work. Maybe I don't know enough to say it's consensual sex work if he had a gun in hookers' mouth. But then also everybody's always trying to do slam campaigns against everybody. Who knows what's really true and what's not because of what everybody's pushing as truth.
Yes, I agree. It's hard. It's hard for people to let that go.
Yeah.
When you see a gun in a hooker's mouth, you go, huh.
Can we pull up the gun? Can we pull up that gun in the hooker's mouth real quick?
Dude, yeah, that actually might get us kicked off.
But here's the thing. We're just talking about this. We don't even know if that's true.
I have heard that it's true.
Yeah, so have I. I've also heard that aliens come from the sky and they abduct our children and give them to Trump to fuck. I've heard so much crazy shit.
This is true.
I keep hearing crazy shit. That's the problem. And every time I keep thinking I'll never hear crazier shit, I keep hearing crazier shit now. And that's kind of like what that's kind of like the point, right? Where there's that old school video, the Russian information guy.
Yeah.
He's like he goes, "Oh, it's our 15-year plan to insert information into the United States and make it so confusing that no one knows." And it's very subtle where it's like now there's so much information that's going around, no one knows what to believe, and then we start getting bored and don't want to deal with it anymore.
Right.
And it's working on me, and it's working on a lot of people where I don't give a fuck about politics anymore because it's a goddamn full-time job to siphon out what's real, what's not. The people who are professionals doing this, they're putting out stuff, then they find out it's not true, but then then they'll be like a quick little side note, oh yeah, but that wasn't true. But then they still keep the video up of them saying it, and then that's what most people see because that gets 4 million views or 14 million views, and then that gets 100,000 views. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree. Dude, the amount of shit that you would have to go through every day to realize if it is or isn't true. It's a
full-time job.
Yeah, you got to run with some things.
And we don't have enough time. we all, because we're all working fucking 40-hour jobs, or we're either working 40-hour jobs or we're living in our car and pursuing stand-up comedy, and neither of us are informed. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing comedy and I have a 401k and I don't know anything. You know what I mean? I have a GED. I don't fucking... It's frustrating and it sucks. And I'm just looking. You know what? Because I'm not going to do the research. I just am desperately searching for someone who I listen to and I feel like I can trust. And I think that's what we're all looking for.
Yeah.
But I think most of us don't know that, whether it be because we grew up with fucked up parents from the prior boomer generation, and they're watching Fox News, and then they're so fed up that we're looking for anything that's different. So people will look at like a fucking some fringe media that looks and dude, the algorithms will fuck you up. Where it's like for a while, dude, for like a week.
Yeah.
3 years ago, for a week, I was like, we do have an immigration problem in America. For a week, I was like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, then I started kind of like pulling back, getting out of my algorithm, and being like, yeah, but like, if I was over there, I'd want to come over here too. And it's
right.
Then that's the age-old question of like, should we let everybody in? I don't know, I don't know the answer.
Right.
I can't even talk about it.
Then we're talking about policies, and you and me shouldn't be talking about policies.
It's a fucking college dropout, a 21-year-old kid. We should not even fucking, you know what I'm saying?
See, here's my thing
You should be fucking Coney Hinchcliffe trying to get sets. Like, we should even be looking up
right,
shit
exactly.
Like this.
Well, whatever Dave Smith says, I'm at this point now. Whatever Dave Smith says, I'm there for.
I like Dave Smith. I do like Dave Smith.
I don't know anything else anymore.
Yeah. It's Dave Smith, Andrew Callahan, and CoffeeZilla. And that problem is when our most trusted source is a man on YouTube whose alias is CoffeeZilla.
Yes, absolutely. And a literal stand-up comedian. Although Dave Smith is very, very intelligent and has done his research and like knows a lot. A lot of people don't do that and still just, riff.
Yeah. Well, then that's the problem, too, is we watch this one person who, for all we know, has done all the research, then we don't fact check it, which, all the good guys will be like, you should fact check this, but here's this, and here's the sources, and that's great. But you know what I'm not doing? Clicking on the sources.
Right.
I don't got that kind of time. I watched a 2-hour Dave Smith podcast for him breaking down policies. That's all the time I got. I was in my car. I'm not going to go click on these 15 links and then read 14 pages of articles and policies and then try to see if what he's saying is true.
No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work with the amount of shit that you have to do day to day just to like survive. Yeah. And then on top of that, who knows if those sources are trusted? And are you going to take the time to look up those trusted sources?
Right. And then by the end of it, we're all on our couch and we're our mouths are out. And this is what it sounds like when we're processing information. That's what we fucking sound like. When we get fed up and open TikTok and watch a guy fucking shoot a gun out of a car that's going 80 miles per hour in Russia.
You put on Kill Tony. That's it. And you watch Taylor Swift get engaged.
Yeah.
Are you seeing this, by the way? Taylor Swift is engaged.
I don't give a fuck about Taylor Swift.
But people are having full-blown reactions to this.
Yeah, the Swifties are out of control.
There was a professor who shut down his class. I'm not kidding.
Why?
Because Taylor Swift got engaged.
Now, let me ask you, did he shut it down because they were celebrating Taylor Swift getting engaged?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they were like, I can't focus. Those were his words.
I would love
He can't focus, and so there's no class.
I would love to sit down with Taylor Swift and just ask her one question.
Yeah.
I would just say, what do you think about Donald Trump? And just let her talk.
She has no thoughts.
She was like, he's like a Nazi, and, he reminds me of, like, one of my ex-boyfriends, and I'm actually writing a song about Trump, and, like, it's just like, she's a dumb white lady. Like, no offense to her. I'm sure she's fucking nice and sweet or whatever. She's got so... you think we don't have time? Taylor Swift is a hardworking bitch. She's doing all this stuff. She's doing Broadway-style concerts all around the fucking world. She's adding to our ozone layer, and, like, with her private jets. She doesn't have time to think about politics, but then again, just like Joe Rogan, she thinks she's got to save the world because she wrote a bunch of songs that girls flick their bean to. It's just like...
That, and also, I think the Kamala... organization gave her some money.
Cash
She's
money.
trying to get paid is the thing. I think she's a lot smarter than people give her credit for. I think if you did ask her about Trump, she would probably give some sort of short response, which is, what I've seen is a little disappointing, but the thing is we have a new album coming out next month. And I think she would just transition. She would go, you know what? I've seen some things. I'm not a big fan of what I've seen. But the thing is my new single is coming out tomorrow.
That's a media training right there. But then, you know what the problem is? She can't even say anything because then the Swifties are going to turn on her and be like, you should have said he was the devil.
I think the things Taylor Swift could get away with and Swifties would go along with it would be insane. I think you'd be shocked.
Well, Bruce Jenner killed a guy, ran over Bruce Jenner ran over a woman in a car and then transitioned, and then now she's a hero on Vogue. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. She's Woman of the Year.
Woman of the Year, right. Woman of the Year.
Yes.
Our Woman of the Year killed a woman. So.
Well, sometimes.
Here's the thing.
To be the best woman, you got to put another bitch down.
Respect. That is girl boss. That may be the most girl boss thing you could do is kill another woman.
Very girl boss.
Yeah. And then she's on Times. And here's the deal. Like, if I could just segue to Times, because I've been thinking about Times Magazine a lot, or Time Magazine a lot, because Time Magazine recently put out a what is it called, like a submission. What do you call when they put out a new thing, a new article or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, you would just say they released a new article.
Yeah, they released. It's a new Times Magazine.
Okay.
And the cover had like Pikachu and Squirtle, and it talked about like the influence that Pokemon had on a generation.
Yes.
Right. So it's interesting to think that Time Magazine had Pikachu, Squirtle, and Hitler on the cover of Time Magazine.
Well, I'd read it.
It's just crazy to think that Pokemon and Hitler are somehow connected because of a cover of a magazine.
Well, that's a good point.
And I don't even know how to think. I don't know how to take it. It just feels it feels dystopian that those two entities were connected somehow.
All of this comes down to where our society is at. I truly believe this. The comedians interviewing politicians.
That needs to stop.
The Hitler with Pikachu. It all comes down to this. It's over.
Put this in for that.
It's over, and it's coming to an end, and you better start a podcast.
You better start a podcast. I'm serious when I say this. I would love to just join a commune. I want to be in a commune. I want to restart a city in the woods. I want to restart a city as a commune, and we're not going to fuck anybody. I mean, you can fuck your partner, but we're not going to go like Waco. We're not going to start fucking people's wives.
Yeah.
I want just a couple coffee shops, a brewery. We don't even have to be like-minded people, but we can agree to disagree and start a little town. And when the nukes go off, we're just far enough away from everything. We can restart society, and thank God that's a good thing. The one Elon has, we got Starlink. So, because I don't care if the nukes go off as long as I can watch Netflix.
Well, listen, I gotta be honest.
Talk to me.
I just got done watching Tim Dillon, and he covered something very interesting. And these were videos, so this is real.
Yeah.
You know this new shooting that's happening?
Yeah.
Or happening.
It was in Ohio. It was in Ohio, right? Yeah.
Well, a tech
company, church, right?
A tech company in Austin has a great solution. Militarized drones. Militarized drones that are just going to be flying around.
Yeah, they're going to monitor everything.
Yeah, and they're going to be in your kids' schools.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with your commune. Elon's going to find you.
That's the problem, right?
Elon's just going to find you. Even if you're out there and the worst thing you're doing is smoking pot, Trump, Kash Patel, they're all going to come with militarized drones knocking on your door, and then it's over.
That's when the drones are able to knock on doors, that's when I think it's time to get out.
Well, that's when it's over. By that point, it's too late.
It's too late, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you're going to fix this. And I was just born, but I'm starting to notice this
like
thing.
Last week.
Yeah, I was born after the towers fell. So you got to put this into perspective. I'm catching up. I'm catching up, and so I'm trying to process all this. And I'm still learning about Vietnam. There's still things I'm not too certain with Vietnam. You have to remember, I went to school during COVID. So there's just stuff that they just didn't teach me.
Right.
So I'm catching up on a lot of things. And I'm coming to the conclusion that it's you better fuck, you better take drugs, and you better get your money up. And you better get a bunker. I mean, you just better get a bunker.
It's time to get a nice little bunker.
Yeah.
I know, I get that. And again, we're talking about deep topics. When the last time I'll say this is I got my GED, and if you gave me a blank map of the United States with no borders and told me to point to Kansas, I couldn't. That's right. That's where my education is. Geography, not my strong suit.
No.
And it's so I don't know how to fix it. It may already be too far gone, and I'm just enjoying the ride until it ends. Like I'm dodging the draft. I mean, I'm too old now at this point. Thank fuck.
Right.
But I'm dodging the draft. I'm fucking just having.
They'll get you.
They'll find a way.
Yeah. Wait. Out of the draft, what? They can't raise it? What are you, nuts?
Yo, you're right. If I can try to barrel roll us out of politics and talk about 9/11.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say before I barrel roll into 9/11?
No, please.
Perfect.
Barrel.
So you weren't born yet, but I was, and I was probably about 6, 5, 6, 7.
Yes.
I remember 9/11 like it was yesterday because I was in school. We heard that there was some weird shit going on, and then like, hey guys,
where were you?
I was in Miss Stennett's class.
Location.
Oh, sorry.
State.
Well, I mean,
city.
Miss Stennett's class is a location, but I'll give. That's about as situational. That's as specific as I can get. But no, I'll expand out. So I went to a school called Millsap. It was in Texas. Texas.
Okay.
So I grew up in a town called Weatherford. Really redneck. You know how we learned how to spell Weatherford?
How?
We at her Ford. That's how redneck we were. We had to include a Ford vehicle in learning how to spell the town. And so Millsap was a small town that was not even in Weatherford. You drove 15 minutes out, you were in a small town called Millsap, and that's the school I went to.
Okay.
And we were in Miss Dinnett's class. It was science, and she was like, "Hey guys, so just a heads up, like we're gonna stay in our classrooms. We're not gonna go to a different class after the bell rings." And we're like, "It's kind of weird. What's going on?" And then everybody's
what grade?
Like, first year of middle school, so probably sixth grade,
7th,
early middle school. And then I remember a girl getting a text message and started crying because she had like some family members that were in the tower. So that was only. She was also kind of an emotional girl. Like I think it was like fucking some like uncle that she's never even spoke to in her entire life, but she was just gonna cry about it.
What phones? Flip phones, BlackBerry, Nokia.
Now I didn't get a smartphone until late, but there were a couple people that had the first iteration of the iPhone if you were rich. But
it came out in 2007 though.
Look it up. 2007 for the iPhone. You know that for a fact. So
I think so.
2007. I graduated 2011. Technically, I would graduate 2012. So that would probably line up right. So if I was in my first year of middle school, we would go 2007, 2008, 9, 10.
Yeah.
I'm in 8, 9. There's 3 years of middle school.
Sure.
And then 10, 11, 12. So
okay.
around that time.
Okay.
And maybe right before someone got an iPhone. But I was rocking the slide phone, this flip-up slide phone. I had a Nokia Flip for the longest time. I love that thing because I could throw it up in the fucking air and it would just crash, and I could just put the battery back in. It's working fine, no problem.
Yeah,
that was like my party trick. So, you know, this girl's crying. We knew something's weird. My mom comes and picks me up, and she's like, "Yeah, like 9/11." Like she goes, like something happened in New York. There's like terrorists, and we already knew about the Iraq War, right? Because it's all that was on the TV,
right?
Or not the Iraq, because that spearheaded the Iraq War. But after that. You know, we knew there was some political turmoil, some things going on, and then she took me home, and she goes, we go to our single wide trailer, and she goes, "Yeah, this is pretty scary." She goes, "I don't know what we're gonna do. We might be invaded soon." I'm like, you know, fucking 9, 10, or whatever, maybe 11, 12, whatever the middle school age is, and then we sit down and we start watching Red Dawn. You know the movie Red Dawn?
Yeah.
And then as they're parachuting, as the Russians are parachuting down from Red Dawn.
Who decided to put on Red Dawn?
I'll tell you, it wasn't me. And then my mom points at the TV and she goes, "That could happen here." And then
so your mom's at the school now?
No, this is after she took me home.
Okay.
We started watching Red Dawn. Imagine she puts it. She was like, "I brought my own tape of Red Dawn."
Like,
all right, kiddos, we fucking put it in. We had the VCR CD DVD combo, but like, so that was what I did on 9/11. I sat in the single wide trailer with my mother and we watched Red Dawn, and my mom was like, "That might happen here."
Holy fuck, that is insanity.
Yeah, it was super crazy. So that's my fun little 9/11.
The only thing I have was I grew up in the aftermath, so I remember my mom, my uncle was deployed in Iraq, I believe. Yeah, he went to Iraq. And my mom was just telling me, you know, they hate us for our freedom.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
They hate us for our freedom.
American flags used to be cool as fuck.
Yeah, Uncle Bob is out there, and he's serving the country, and he's going to save us from the terrorists.
Shout out to Uncle Bob. He's dead now. Not even from the war. He killed himself afterwards because he had an abusive relationship. And he killed himself over some fat whore that wasn't even worth it. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Well, that's actually the story of a lot of veterans, unfortunately.
I'm literally recounting my stepbrother. I'm serious. And this is fucked up, and I'm sorry. And but he killed himself over some fat whore that wasn't even cool.
Was his name also Uncle Bob?
His name was not. No. His name wasn't Uncle Bob. Okay. But it was and that's what happened to a lot of those guys, and it's fucked up. But I don't know where we go from here. Just like our political state. One quick thing. Yeah. Is it's funny because the American flag used to be cool.
Oh yeah.
And now it represents like annoying boomers that invest in crypto and have and still have what's the images that are the fucking Bored Ape. Fucking,
the monkey.
Yeah. What is it called though? Not TLCs.
I know what you're talking about.
Whatever. They have those images that are going to generate money for them or whatever, and then they have an American flag on the background of their Twitter, and then they're like, we're still an American. Right. Like, now, because it sucks, because I want to be patriotic. I really do. I want to love where I live and that we represent good. And I think in some aspects I still believe that, but it's tough. It's tough. I'm not looking at an American flag and being like,
Right. Well, now it's illegal to burn it.
It's always been illegal to burn it.
No, it wasn't.
Look at it. I think it's always been illegal. Am I crazy? I think it's always been illegal to burn it.
So I think it was illegal to burn it on public property. But they had that one case. What was it? Texas versus
Roe v. Wade.
That was the flag.
Yeah, look up the flag law, and then after that, if we want a real good representation of the downfall of America, we can watch that TLC video I pulled up because I think that's a really great representation of the United States and where we're at. Let's let AI answer the questions for us. That's fucking perfect.
Texas versus Johnson.
We can't even Google anything anymore because AI wants to tell us what we're supposed to know. That's my least favorite thing, by the way, is when I Google something, AI's like, don't fucking click on a link.
No.
Nah, we got it right here for you. We've sifted all of them. We've got it all right here for you.
AmericanCourts.gov, Texas versus Johnson. Ruling. Yeah, issue. Whether flag burning contributes symbolic speech protected by the First Amendment. The ruling was yes.
What year? 1984. 1984. Okay.
So this was 1984, and now they just
overturned that.
Overturned it.
At the end of this podcast, do you want to set fire an American flag?
No one would notice. That would be funny if that was the thing that blew up this podcast. Though, was you and me burning
an American flag with zins. It was zins in our mouths. That might be the most patriotic thing ever, is burning an American flag with zins in our mouth while we're talking about politics when we know nothing about it.
We would have to do a line of cocaine afterwards, I think.
I've never done coke, but I would do cocaine. We can do it listen, here's the deal. Can we make a pact right now? If we ever do cocaine, you and me have to do it for the first time together. And there could be other people. We probably shouldn't be alone in a podcast.
No, dude. It's you, me, and Joey Cash. That's it. It's you and me, Joey Cash. We do a line and we set up flag on fire, dude. And we just go off. We just go off about the creek in the cave and Joe Rogan.
We would just at the end of it, we would just destroy the podcast equipment. It would be the last podcast that we ever do.
It'd be like those bands that break their equipment.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
You know about is it Octopussy?
I don't know about Octopussy.
Octopussy is a band of female women, I believe. Can you just look up Octopussy really quick, make sure I'm not out of my ass? Yeah. So Octopussy, they got sent in prison in Russia for setting the Russian flag on fire in Russia during a concert, I believe. Octopussy, Pussy. We're going to get a lot of nature stuff if we type that down. Octopussy, type Octopussy, Russia, and that should probably pop up. And you're already on a watch list, but
right. No. I mean, it's fine. The CIA just has been watching me since I was 17.
Time out. The first link is in X videos. X videos
link. This is nuts. This is all just porn.
I believe there was a band called Octopussy, and it's all female band, and they
Did you find this on Pornhub?
No.
I found this on the Hub.
Am I getting my news mixed up with the porn I watch?
That's a funny skit, dude.
Well, you know what's funny? The first time I ever watched hentai, so because at one point I was bored. With porn, we all go through our fucking, maybe not all of us, but I went through, we all go through kind of like a porn marathon. And it's like on Sci-Fi or whatever. Yeah. On Sci-Fi for the 4th of July, they have a marathon of what's that show that where it shows, it's like little episodes of the Twilight Zone. So 4th of July, they would have a Twilight Zone marathon, and what I would do is every now and again when I was unemployed, I would go on a porn marathon, and you would get bored. You want to mix it up, diversify. So I watched hentai for the first time, and when I did, the problem was I couldn't even come because I got so enthralled with the story. Because at some point, like, most hentai videos are like 47 minutes long.
What?
So when you watch
they are?
Yeah, because they're actual episodes. And though, now with the age of like short form consumption, it's probably not like that anymore. But when I watched hentai for the first time, it was 47 minutes long, and it's like part 1. And there's like
it's a full anime.
There's like 8 different episodes, and then 15 minutes in, there's a spider fucking a woman, and there's an octopus involved.
Yeah.
And like at the end of it, I just wanted to know if Sushimi was going to keep the baby. Like,
right?
I couldn't even come anymore.
You get invested.
I got invested.
Yeah, those porn marathons always end in hentai or jerking off to a transgender woman, and then at that point you go, maybe it's time to step back for a little bit.
Yeah, and trans women are getting better, which worries me, because I've seen a couple trans women where I'm like, there's this trans woman at the rock climbing gym I go to, and every time. And I'm a taken man right now, but like at some point, I was like, she is. I like her style, and
who cares that it's a chick with a dick?
Well, that's my problem. I don't mind if it's a chick that used to have a dick. The dick is what loses me,
right?
And
like it loses a lot of people.
And it loses a lot of people, I would assume.
Yeah,
and. I'm like, it's a nice little skirt she's got going, and then I'm like, that's where, and I think that's the start of the collapse of our society.
Yeah, we keep going back. That is the end. It is weird though when you're at a point where you just don't know anymore. Mm-hmm. You just don't know. They're getting so good.
At that point, should we even give a fuck? I mean, if you want to have kids, it's like whatever.
Well,
at that
we just discussed about how it's over for the past 40 minutes.
Right.
So. The thing is no, it doesn't.
Well, no one's getting knocked up anyways because they're all on birth control. So it's not like, you know what I mean? It's like no one has ovaries anymore.
Yeah, everyone's just fucked up on antidepressants, SSRIs, and all of our internal organs have to function. I don't think my body works without Red Bull anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm mainlining caffeine at this point. Like there's only about 15 women left that aren't on birth control, and they're witches that are fucking monitoring their menstrual cycle by the moon. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at.
Well, they're using their period blood too for other things.
Yeah, of course, and they've got a voodoo doll of their ex-boyfriend dipped in apple cider vinegar that they poke at when they're having a bad day. Like, and the problem is that's my type, and that's I think.
This is good. Your concern.
I just got done with therapy. This is exactly what I talked about there. I'm kidding. I don't do therapy. I do podcasts.
I saw a post once that someone said this on Twitter. They said men start a podcast instead of going to therapy.
Yes.
And I got really angry, and then I realized I was mad because it's true.
And here's the deal. We wouldn't if we could just afford therapy.
Right.
If we didn't have to go through 9 different providers that maybe worked with our insurance, but we still have to pay a $1,400 copay.
Yes.
Like, I'm down for therapy. I am, but I fucking get lost in it, and then I go to self-help YouTube, and then I figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And do a lot of peyote.
Well, the thing is, too, is at the end of it all, this still is cheaper. Focusrite, the computer, this booth, the mic stands, the microphones, at the end of it, it's still way cheaper.
Yeah, 100%.
Because what? You spend $2,000, you get $2,000. $2,000 gets you what?
Yeah.
How many therapy sessions? Not enough to fix my mother problems.
Absolutely not. And not enough to break down why my mom stabbed me with a fork when I was 11. You know what I'm saying? It's just not enough. And so at that point, we might as well just keep doing the podcast.
We just got to keep doing it.
I miss radio.
Yeah?
I miss radio so much. Because
I forget that it's around sometimes.
Dude, radio, because you grew up post-radio, kind of. Like, dude.
No, it was gone. What? I mean, it was done. I remember my mom listening to Howard Stern.
And I know I sound like a hipster that wants to listen to analog, but I miss radio, and let me tell you why. I'm so sorry. Tell me if I'm interrupting you by accident.
No.
I don't mean to.
No, you're good. This is perfect.
So I miss radio because you would get into the car, you would hear these guys bullshitting about this thing. You're like, like fucking Britney Spears did a crazy thing. Isn't that crazy? And then they'd be like, oh, coming up next, there's a woman that's going to, or there's, we have 3 housewives that are going to drink a gallon of water, and the one who drinks the most wins a wee. And then that woman dies because she drank too much water and drowned herself.
Yeah.
And now 3 kids have a dead mother, but they have a wee. And that's the society I miss.
You miss when there were people on the radio interviewing retards.
Yes,
that
yes.
was
and like, but no.
These podcasters should be interviewing retards and not politicians.
Well, here's yes, and
we need to get back to retards.
Well, we had Howard Stern did that, and he had some problems of his own with that. But to get
there
back
are no issues.
Beetlejuice. And here's going back to like being a little more serious about it and not like riffing about it, but like. I actually really loved radio, and I would love to do something in the format of that because it would be, and I think there's a medium for it because Adult Swim has crazy shit like this, but like I love the idea of where they're talking about a segment, they have a competition of these ladies that come into the studio and do a silly thing, and it's not exploitative, it's kind of exploitative, but they're not taking their clothes off, they're just drinking water.
Sure.
And that actually did happen, by the way. Someone died drinking a gallon of water. It was a mistake. They thought it was very harmless, right? Just water, but doing a little fun competition, and then they're like, oh, here's 3 albums from the new fucking Linkin Park, 3 songs from the Linkin Park album that I really like. They play that, and then they come back and they're doing another fun segment that they're interviewing a porn star and asking her what she thinks about this, and then back to music again, and then here's a fucking skit, and then we're talking about the news, like, oh, that's crazy, it's just a few boys hanging out, like 15 minutes of a podcast, and then we go back to more music, and it's like, it just mixes it up, and it's like a fun thing you get to check in with throughout your day, instead of listening to the Nelk Boys interview Benjamin Netanyahu and callback, and like that's why I miss radio.
Yes,
because it wasn't just 3 guys popping around. It was like, oh, here's some art that we liked. And I miss that because it used to be about like conversations with friends and then art, and that's not what it is anymore.
No, not at all. Well, and now I always liked the idea of podcasting because you could like watch clips, and things in movies. But then that's all copyright, I guess. But it's not
fair use. But like then we get demonetized. We can't even say rape anymore.
No,
we can't even talk about a rape that happened that was bad. Then we have to talk about a woman that got violated by a monster and say she got graped. Because there's nothing that devalues a woman more after she's been sexually assaulted than calling it after a fruit. Do I need to put this in back in?
Well, I think you might, dude. Well, you get your fruits groped and then you get called a grope, I guess. I don't know. I look for something there. It didn't work.
No, it's fine. It's just and what really can you riff on something that fucking heinous?
No, I mean, I was trying to think of a fruit pun, but I don't. We need Mark Norman.
Yeah. But
no, I completely agree.
It's fucking crazy. We can't even talk about bad things that are happening anymore without using fake pseudonyms or fake words or metaphors for things that are happening. And it's just fucking disgusting because we're getting demonetized because, God forbid, we don't get our BetterHelp ad read.
And that is the other thing, too, is some of these, dude, BetterHelp is like evil.
I've heard.
Yeah, you know about this?
I don't know a lot, but I've heard it's
they steal like all your information.
Yes.
Apparently.
Well, dude,
and you're just talking to some guy online who's probably taking all the notes and whatever, and then sending it to Google so that they know what products to market to you.
It's not even that. Like it's the therapist isn't even doing it. They're just trying to get a paycheck. They're the intermediary. It's the same thing that jobs are doing, and that's why that's. And this is going to sound like a kind of a segue tangent, but it's all going to come together after I finish this. Okay. So, I had a really great job until COVID, or during COVID, got laid off near the end of it. Got another new job. pretty decent, got laid off again. Now I'm at some bullshit IT tech support job that's paying me as much as a Chick-fil-A employee. And so the problem with this, I probably applied over 1,000 places when I was unemployed. And when you apply for a new job, they go, oh, sign into our portal. You got to make an account with us to apply, of course. That just makes sense, so we can get all the information that we need to be sure to make sure you're the proper candidate. And then they get your email address, and they ask for your phone number, and then they ask for your home address. And then they sell all of that information, and sometimes the fucking postings aren't even real. They're called ghost postings or ghost ads. I interviewed for a position, for an IT tech support position. They were wanting to pay me $13 an hour, and I was like, that's crazy. But I took the interview because I saw a secondary posting for a management position because I ran a team of 8 people for 6 years. And so I was like, well, I have management experience, phenomenal soft skills. I also have a wide range of tech expertise. And so I told them, I go, listen, I'll be honest with you guys, the pay for this is just not even a livable wage. I can't do this. But I saw that you had a posting for this management position. I think I qualify for all the roles. Like, I meet all the criteria. And they go, oh, right. So we're actually not hiring for that position currently. We actually just put out the posting to get a feel of interest. And so these companies will do this because what it does is it inflates their numbers for their job that they can take to stakeholders, and they can say, well, although we didn't, maybe our numbers weren't that good financially, we look at all the interest we got in all these. We had 10,000 people apply to this one position. Yeah. It was a remote position, and they all applied for it, and this is how much people want to work for us. We also have all 10,000 of those people's information that they sell. There's an entire $1 billion market of information selling from people putting out job listings for corporations. There's a whole essay about this guy did on YouTube about how that's like a whole side thing for them to make extra money and boost the value of their company via doing that. It's almost like its own side business. There's an economy in people begging for jobs.
That's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah, and then everybody talks about the unemployment rate.
Yes, and then they go, well, it's not that bad.
Nobody wants to work.
Nobody wants to work. Look at all these job listings. And then you see, I'll show you my inbox. My friend's got an inbox of all denial letters, and it's over 1,000, and that's not even the ones that didn't reply back. Then you got to go through 4 rounds, do a project, then the listing goes away, and they never talk to you again. That happened to my friend Melissa. Then she saw the listing come back up. She reached back out to them again, and they asked her to do another project. Unpaid, by the way.
Unpaid?
Yeah, the project was to see if you were good enough to get the job.
How long is the project?
I mean, probably 3 to 4 days of studying and putting everything together and putting it into an Excel sheet or a fucking slideshow or whatever, and then presenting it to the heads of the board, and they say they love you, we'll call you, and they never do.
So it's over. I mean, again, it's just...
If you could, this is perfect time. Can you go to the TLC, that first tab, and just play the first 15 seconds of this?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Because I think this is a great representation of America, and this was 20 years ago. But this was a great idea of like where our world's going. And then go ahead and press play, and I'll tell you.
Do you drink water during the day? No water at all. Okay, all right. And then what are you drinking during the day?
Sodies.
Okay, pause.
Sodies.
Sody pop.
She goes, and just to break it down for anyone who may not have heard the beginning, is she goes, what, do you drink any water? And they go, oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, well, then what do you hydrate with? Sodies. Wait, sody pop. Now press play again, hit spacebar on this. Now let's hear what they say.
Okay. And how much do you think you drink a day?
8 to 12 a day.
Now, spacebar one more time for me.
12 can.
Now, 8 to 12 sodies a day. Now, I want you to hear what this woman says her mother taught her about diet sodas.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's regular soda?
No, it's diet.
It's diet. Okay.
Our mom told us when we were younger, if we ate a sugar, you drink a Diet Coke afterwards and it'll cancel out the sugar.
And pause! Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early lights?
What so proudly we hail.
I got $5,000 in Ethereum.
That is, and it is perfect that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, the collapse has been happening.
It's been happening. It's been right in front of our face, and TLZ has been giving us a front row show to the insanity. I don't think people. Here's my problem. I think people see this and they don't think that they're like. These people are fake. You know, they're not out in the world actually living day to day, but they're there.
Oh, I see them. I work with a couple of them.
These are, you know what I mean? Like, TLC had to go around and ask people like this. You know, they probably had a couple no's. These are the people that they found to do this.
Yeah.
That's what makes this disgusting.
Well, yeah, they probably gave them a little cash money on the side, too.
Sure,
like,
whatever.
Hoarders and everything. Yeah. Exploit them for the sake of media, which I get that to an extent. I think it is kind of funny. Like it is kind of funny, and it's honestly good for us to know these people exist.
Of course.
Now, are we exploiting them? Absolutely. Did they willingly become exploited? Yes. The problem is, that woman on the left, she lost all the weight, but the problem is she looks worse than when she was fat because, and this has nothing to do with our society, it's just unfortunate for her, where it's like the, what's the guy from Clerks that lost a lot of weight? Mid-Tusk?
Maybe? I don't know.
It's Jay and Silent Bob. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Anyways, there's this guy who was big and he lost a lot of weight, and now he looks worse.
Yes.
But he's healthy, and that's good. She's healthier, and that's great, but she has this loose skin fat, and then the internet makes fun of her for looking like a fucking, like a sacky Jabba the Hutt. And there's no winning for her, unfortunately.
No.
Like, she did try to turn her life around, and this got 400 million views, but the article of showing all the weight loss that she had went around as a meme making fun of her.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a representation of our society.
Well, the thing is, too, is it's too much. Like, it's like an alcoholic trying to not drink alcohol anymore. If you did 20 years of just boozing every day, it's going to be hard to turn that around.
Yeah.
And it's similar with this, too. You know, like, you just process foods every day for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's tough to come back from that.
Yeah, at that point, you're like the xenomorph on Alien. If you cut your blood open, it's going to melt the concrete below you.
Right,
like, you're not
of course.
even. You're
No, you're barely a human anymore.
Yeah, 100%. So that's welcome to the world we live in. I have no segue for this. At this point, I think I'm going to put the Zin in my water bottle and start shaking it up so I can drink the nicotine. That's where I'm at, Chris. To be honest with you.
No, that's perfect. That's right where we want you to be. That's actually my whole goal here is to get you to drink nicotine water. I have to piss.
No, go pee. We'll pause it up.
I forgot about something. I need you to do something.
Yeah.
But we'll get back
pause?
to that. Yeah,
perfect.
Hold on. So your cat has a UTI.
Yeah, so I had to go to PetSmart or Petco because my cat has a UTI. Well, I thought he had a UTI. So he's always been a good kitty, but he's been having some accidents, and at first, I thought it was because I have this new lady friend I've been seeing, and she's been staying over a lot. And what happened is, like, my cat's been pissing everywhere, and I thought he was doing it out of defiance. I thought he was like, "Who is this bitch? Like, I'm your fucking human, or you're my human. Like, who is this hoe coming in and like encroaching on my territory?" Right. But then he started doing these weird things. He was like phantom peeing, so he would like pee over stuff. He would like look like he was trying to pee, but he wouldn't. And so I was really fucking terrified, and then took him to the vet.
Did you see him or her at like the litter box trying to piss?
Yeah, there were times he'd be in the litter box for like 15 minutes trying to get a piss going.
Really?
And I was really worried about him because kidney issues with cats are a big deal.
Right.
And so I spent $200 all for them to be like, yeah, I think he's just stressed out because there's a new person around all the time, and he's just not drinking enough water because he's stressed out. And that was it. There's nothing too glorifying about it. It was just, he's just pissed off, and now I had to spend $200, and he peed on all my hats that I had to.
Holy shit!
He got on the shelf. This one included. No, I'm kidding. Actually, this one was part of it, but I washed it. I had to get all these enzyme clears or whatever, and it's good now. You can smell it later. No cat piss. And so, literally, the hats were on like imagine it being on that little subwoofer right there.
Yeah.
He got on it and somehow pissed on them. Like that's
insane.
Yeah, out of his way to fucking do that. So
he must be very upset.
He now he loves her. So that's the problem. Now they're all fucking. Now they're best friends and fuck me. But now I have to deal with it. He peed on my wallet. He pissed on my.
He knows.
Literally. This is all I have right now because I've got no wallet because it smells. My grandfather's wallet passed down to me for generations. Smells like cat piss. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. And super random, but if we could segue to your bathroom, can we have a couple?
Sure.
Can we talk a little about your bathroom?
Yeah.
I like looking at people's bathroom to see what it. And you're a young kid, a bachelor, and so I like. It's always interesting to see your bathroom very clean.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so no hand soap.
Oh shit.
No hand soap. So I free washed. That's fine. No hand towel or paper towels to dry hands. but minus a couple points. The main thing I wanted to tell you about the water pick, nice hygiene on the teeth. We love that. But the main thing I saw was that there's a phone jack that is, phone jack, which is, the thing you connect to a phone or maybe Ethernet cable or whatever to get internet somewhere.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And now phone jacks normally are no big deal. They're in like a living room or something. It's the first time I've seen a phone jack in a bathroom, but not only is it in the bathroom, it's drilled into your mirror in your bathroom. And you have to take a picture and put it up for the pod because I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, it's insane.
What is a bitch taking a phone call in the bathroom? Like, did they have a hairdryer that had Ethernet connection? Like, what the fuck is that? That is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I've gotten so used to just pissing and then washing my hands in the sink kitchen that I didn't even register about guests not being like, oh yeah, you should wash your hands in the bathroom sink,
yeah dude, that phone jack Ethernet cable fucking whatever port that's drilled into the mirror of your bathroom. What fucking psychopath did that?
Probably Ted Bundy. And the thing is that I've had other apartments in this complex. They all have that. Really? Every single one. Yeah, some jackass was just like, no, leave them.
You gotta take a phone call. They're coming back. The phone lines are coming back, and he might not be wrong.
Yeah.
He might not.
No, he's not.
He might not be wrong. We might be going back. They could have tapped into those. It doesn't matter anymore.
No, for the nuclear holocaust, you're gonna want that.
Yeah, we all got our ham radios ready, guys. It's fucking dumb. Anyway, I was gonna tell this tangent, but it's not even that interesting. I'll briefly mention it because it came into my head. But
no,
there are these guys that have these tether points on their phone. Like I work in IT, so I work with a lot of autistic people, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of nerdy techies.
And then you're around comedians, so you're just doubled up on autism.
I'm doubled up on the autism.
Yeah,
it's rough. But no, and they're good guys. They mean well, but they have these things that connect to their computers, and they're little it's almost like radio but Wi-Fi hybrid, right? So it's like a Wi-Fi dongle, but it's on its own isolated Wi-Fi that cannot be hijacked by anyone, they ping off of each other. So you can communicate with any of these other ones as long as they're within 15 miles of each other. And if there's one within the 50 miles, it pings off of that, and then it can ping off another one within 50 miles, and it keeps going until there's within 50-mile radius there aren't enough any more of these dongles to be able to ping off of. And so he showed me the map, and it's all around the city of Austin. Then once we get rural, it starts to taper off, and there's none.
Right.
And then you lose the connection. But it's this cool little spider web. And he's like, oh, yeah, if the power internet ever goes down, these things still work, and you can all communicate with each other. Emergency services have them, and you can actually get updates of things that are going on if the internet and the power were to go out. It was really interesting. I just thought it was super cool, and I was like,
that is very cool.
That might be where we go in the future, where if we want to kind of defy technology a little bit, but still embrace it. We when they talk about Signal and all these other things or whatever. Yeah. The problem is it's like the dark web. It's things like this are only used by pedophiles and fucked up people right now. Right. But it might in the future, and obviously emergency services people are using it. It might be the next step of trying to keep whatever bit of identity and security we have left in our day-to-day conversations.
That's so true, yeah.
Until people figure out how to hijack those things.
Which they will.
And it won't be long. They probably already have.
No. Well, AI's coming around too, so AI will just figure all this stuff out.
Dude, I don't even know what AI means. That's the problem. I know it's artificial intelligence or whatever, but the AI's been this keyword for so long. I got in an argument with this girl at a bar. Mm-hmm. I was at La Perla, really cool bar. There's a nice food truck out there. It's really fucking good. It was July 4th, and we all went out. We were drinking, and I'm sitting on this bench, and there's a lot of room on the bench. It's me and 4 friends, and there's a little room on the other bench. And she goes, "Excuse me, can I sit here?" And I was like, "Yeah, you could sit there. It's fine." She goes, "Thank you." And she sits down. She's talking, and she's like, "So what do you guys do?" And I was like, "Oh, so I work, I do this or whatever." And then, "What do you do?" She goes, "I work for an AI firm." I was like, "Oh, really? What do you do for the AI firm?" And she goes, "I work sales at AI firm." And I was like, "What do you do for sales at AI firm?" She goes, "We help companies embrace AI and to help make them more money and utilize tasks and be able to help cut costs."
Yeah.
I go, oh, so you work for the devil?
Yeah, so you met a demon at a bar.
Yeah, and I told her this. I go, oh, so you work for the? Because I had a couple adios motherfuckers in me.
Yeah.
And she goes, excuse me? I go, yeah. So you basically help companies cut their workforce and increase our unemployment, so that way they can replace us all with AI. I go, oh, but that's great. I'm sure they pay you well. And we just got into this. She's like, why are you being like such an asshole? I was like, because it's people like you that are ruining our society.
Yeah.
And she's like, why don't you go? And you know what the worst part is? I lost this argument, and I'll explain why here in a second.
Yeah.
And she goes, why don't you go home? I go, why don't you go back to fucking California? Or I go, why don't you go back to San Diego? And then her friend's sitting on the bench, and I'm wearing this exact hat that I have on right now. And she goes, you have a California hat on.
Oh.
Fuck, dude. She clocked me. She's got a good point.
Yeah.
Why am I wearing this hat? And I go, and I wanted to just fight this nonsensical battle.
Yeah.
And be oblivious in my own head. And I go, you got a fucking point. And she goes, You got me. And she goes, yeah, eat that burrito. And I just sat there and I ate the burrito and I sulked.
Eat the burrito.
I went home.
Crazy.
You're
dealing with demons.
Yeah,
That's
and she got the best of me. And I went home and I threw this hat in the trash for like 2 days. And I was like, the hat works with too many outfits. And I got it in the trash.
You went in dumpster diving.
It didn't go that far. It was in the kitchen. It was in the kitchen trash.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
This hat's seen a lot. It's seen the inside of a trash can. My cat pissed on it. The hat's been through too much now for me to get rid of it. We've trauma bonded at this point. So.
Yeah, it's your lucky hat.
Yeah.
Well, now it's been on this podcast. So
now it's been on this podcast. So this shit's probably gonna get clipped in my court hearing later. So. They're gonna play this.
You gotta wear that for the vibes.
Yeah, they're gonna play this in my court case, and they're gonna be like, "So you once said."
By the way, speaking about streaming and all that for shows, you said that you were you got it so that you set up a bubble machine.
Yeah. So I used to stream on Twitch. I started during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I went to film school. So I just like a quick synopsis. So I dropped out of film. I went to film school. Dropped out because I fucking hated everyone in film school. They were so pretentious and annoying.
Yes.
And then while I was doing it, I kind of realized, the prime YouTube era and stuff. I feel like I wanted to be in front of the camera and not behind it.
Right.
And at some point, I was just listening to all these insufferable film people talk, and I just I can't do this anymore.
Right.
So and it wasn't even it was in a non-accredited school. I was just doing it for skills.
Sure.
But then when I dropped out, and I had all this camera gear, I did photography, some videography stuff or whatever. Then COVID hit. I was already playing video games because I fucking love video games.
Right.
And then I kind of dabbled with streaming on Twitch because I thought it'd be kind of a fun little outlet or whatever. But every time I was 25, 26 at the time. I'm 31 now for context. And I suffered from this thing that I think a lot of us deal with is our insecurities of who we are. And I would look at myself in this webcam camera and be like, I look like a fucking loser. Why am I'm not going to do this. I would just sit there and stare at the OBS and look at myself in the screen and be like, why would, and I never pressed start stream. And then COVID hit. I got all these nice cameras. I was like, fuck it, I might as well do it. I had all these friends like, oh, come watch your stream or whatever. So I started doing my stream around the week of my birthday when COVID started. And I was I just had so much fun. I was shooting shit. I bought all the right gear, soundboards, whatever.
Nice.
I could manipulate my voice. I would start fucking with my teammates in these games. And I would sound like the devil. And they'd be like, what the fuck? This is way before.
Awesome.
So I was kind of one of the early pioneers in this early kind of fucking with your teammates type of style of content creation in streaming.
Gotcha.
And in a game that was very new and it was very popular.
What game?
It was called Valorant.
Okay.
And so the cool thing is Valorant, it's 5 versus 5 tactical shooter, and you could talk to all of your teammates in the game chat. And so I would just be like, what's up, fellas? Ready to I'm going to kick these guys' asses? You ready? Let's fucking go. Timmy, I'm going to need you to pick it up. You don't have any kills right now. Or else. And then so at some point, I'd be like, guys, we're 8 rounds down. Gather round. We're going to pray to the devil because that's the only way we're going to win this fucking game. And then so I would have this harmonic thing, and I would basically do a cappella of the, not a cappella, but through the mic, I would do the Halo theme soundtrack, but I would do
yeah.
But I had the auto-tune, so it sounded much better than it did just now.
Yes.
And then they were like, yo, what the fuck? And then I would press the devil, be like, all hail Satan. And they're like, yo, what the fuck? And it was like this fun little thing I would do, and it was, making content and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, so I got a few followers doing that. You start and you get like fucking 3-4 people coming in. Like a month in, I was getting like 20 people, which doesn't seem like a lot, but 20 people, that's a small comedy show watching you every day. And so I kept getting followers, and then I started playing with OBS. I would just get stoned and be like, "Ooh, what can I do with this?" And I like there were a lot of these like really obscure plugins that you could download to connect things, and I had a bunch of smart plugs, so I started connecting all these lights to my smart plugs to connect to stream. And there were these integrations that allowed it when someone followed you, my little LED lights would start blinking. They'd be like, oh, shit. I had these little leaf lights, which are like the streamer lights, before they became hack. And then they could type in !red in my chat, and it would turn the lights red. And they're like, oh, that's fucking cool. And I didn't know this was doing this, but this was ramping up the chat volume, which put me in the algorithm at the time was very good for it being like featured streamers. And so it kept putting me in the featured streamers because everyone was typing all these commands to make stuff happen in my room. And then it brought in more followers and more people. They'd be like, oh, yeah, you were just on my home screen. I saw your screen was upside down for some reason, because I would have these things where, like, kids would come into your stream and be like, you should do this, you should do that. And then I'd be like, hey, little fuck, this is my world. And I would press a button, and it would just be like, if I wanted to do this, I was going to do this. If I want to make my camera go away, I'd make my camera start zooming all across the thing, and then I would come in upside down. I would do crazy shit. I would like stand on my chair and like point my ass to the camera. I'm like, kiss my ass, and they would be like, we saw you upside down and you were sticking your ass to the camera. I had to see what the fuck was going on in here. And so I started getting followers in Twitch doing all that silly stuff. And it was honestly the first creative outlet I had since improv, because I had improv for a few years. And this was like the first time I had like a fun creative outlet, because I felt so starved. Like I didn't know what I needed.
Right.
But I knew I needed something that was going to like mix up my mundane life. And I kind of forgot how much I loved improv and funny.
Yeah, you needed an outlet.
Yeah. And so this became like such a great outlet for me. And so I started getting these like different integrations, and I bought because I was thinking, what can I do to stand out? And I thought, bubble machine be kind of sick. So I bought a bubble machine on Amazon. I connected to a plug. It's just an on and off switch. I was like, okay. So I connected to the smart switch, did the integration for Twitch. Now every time someone follows me, my bubble machine goes off. And then it literally would be shooting bubbles in my living room. I had hardwood floor. It was a fucking nightmare to clean up. But everyone thought that was so fucking cool, so I made it a channel point command, which they would type in, they would type something, and then it would make the bubble machine go off. That is keeping me in the algorithm. And then it got so crazy that I was like, guys, I have to put it behind a paywall, but they kept doing it. So I'd pay $1, and it would fucking shoot bubbles. Some people would come into the stream just to do the bubbles. They'd be like, boop, give me $1, and then the bubbles would go off. Cool, I'm at work. I just wanted to do that. I was taking a shit. I'll see you later. And then would leave. And so I started like trying to build up as many of these like fun little integrations and automations for stream as I possibly could, because I realized it helped A, with the algorithm to get me in the stream for people to see me, and B, people just thought it was fun and cool, and then they stayed and got to like hang out with me and then be like, oh, he's funny, I like what he's doing, I'm going to be a patron of his stream now. It's a lot.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was some of the funnest time.
Could we do that for Along for the Vibes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you'd have to connect to the Wi-Fi, but it's yeah, you could absolutely do that. It might be a little complicated, but I mean, not that complicated. You'd have to download a third-party plugin.
How much is all this?
$8 a month or $6 a month or something, like a Spotify subscription, depending on which one you use.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. It's cool. They have a lot of crazy stuff. That's how I started multi-streaming on TikTok, and that's what helped me a lot with my streams too.
And what about the equipment, like the smart switch you were talking about?
Yeah, fucking, it's a smart plug. Fucking, you can buy a pack of 12 for $15 now. You know what I mean? They're so cheap. Yeah, it's super fun. People can change the lights or whatever. Yeah, it was a great fucking time. I miss streaming so much. It just, when I decided to make the switch and start doing comedy instead of streaming, you only have time for one because it's super time consuming.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, dude. My eyes are like lighting up thinking about that.
No, it's fun.
That would be so fucking cool. Would you help me with that?
Yeah.
By chance?
Yeah, let me know if you have any questions about stuff.
Edgar wanted to do something similar, look into OBS Streamlabs or whatever, and kind of look.
Don't do OBS Streamlabs. Do OBS Studio.
OBS Studio.
Studio, yeah. Streamlabs does it's like the iPhone to Android type situation.
Really?
Way less control, yeah.
Huh? Why is that?
Because they have plugins, and all the plugins are open source, and Streamlabs won't let you use a lot of open source plugins. It's like a company thing. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Now, what about like a multi-stream situation? Could we do that through OBS Studios?
Yeah. You would have to get a third-party plugin, but the one that you use the automation for the follower alerts and plugins and stuff, that all you can multi-stream through that now too.
You can.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. It's super easy.
And we could get like bubbles, money gun, stuff like that.
Yep.
Just for the stream.
Yeah, the bubble stuff though, let me tell you, it's a bitch to clean up after. It's I've mopped my floor like 8 times, and it actually impacted my mental health like to a negative point.
Really?
Cleaning up all the bubbles after my stream was over. Dude, streaming is crazy because you have a crazy night. We have 150 viewers and you just made $400. And then you get off the stream and it's dead quiet, and then you're cleaning up bubbles and you're like, this was cool, but then you're just cleaning up.
It's the come down.
It's the come down. It's it's like doing like killing on a set, and then you go home, you're like, I can't sleep.
Right.
But then you have a stream the next day and you don't do as well, and maybe it's dead, and then you're like, I'm worthless. You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
It's really crazy that way.
Now, for the streaming side of things, how long would you recommend a stream to go for?
It depends, because we did event streams. Like I used to actually do a lot of esports casting.
Yeah,
I did like color commentary for like groups that wanted to do like events or little organizations and stuff. But I also had some friends who were streamers who we did like the typical like dating shows or like whatever fun events. That they only did like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and events are really big because people like that. But you already have to have an established community to be able to do something like that for it to work well. As far as like streaming in general to gain people, you're gonna have to stream for a long time. And not to say like the events, like the Along for the Vibe stuff is cool,
right?
And I would love to give constructive criticism on the stream,
of course.
And we don't have to do it here, but like. I would love to give notes because I think it's a cool idea and people would love stuff like that. But it's one of those things that it's at such a low level right now. I say low level, but because you already doing what you're doing is so crazy.
Yeah.
But to be able to have it like there's so much further you can go to make it look so professional and so fun and cool.
Right.
That's where it would get the professionalism. Where if somebody saw the live stream, they'd be like, I got to click on that.
Right.
The camera, the main thing is the camber quality, and then you're working with what you got, and I respect the fuck out of that because that's my problem. Is I don't want I never want to do anything unless it's perfect, and then it makes me not do it.
Right.
And I was talking to my girl about it. She wants to do like a little cooking show thing, and then I'm like, oh, you got to have this. We got to get a shotgun mic for this. I have these lav mics, but we got to get a better quality camera. And she's like, I did this all with an iPhone forever ago. And I got 60,000 followers on TikTok. And I was like, no, that's valid. And she's like, yeah, maybe like just start small. And you're like, yeah, I should.
Right.
Like, we should start small. My brain just gets too big for my, it's like cocaine. I'm cocaine.
Well, that's why I think it's good that you're, sort of in the corner going, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Which is, I'm just going, it's happening.
We're doing it. Yeah.
We're doing it. Whatever I got. And
I feel bad because I don't ever want you to think I'm like criticizing your shit because it's cool as fuck. I love stuff like this.
No, but we also need to get better.
Yeah.
Both things can be very, very true.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think that you're like, again, you're not shitting on, you're not like, or whatever. So when I know that you're coming from a good place, say whatever the fuck you want. I want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Because I think live streaming shows like that, or even live streaming a mic is fucking cool. People are going to see some crazy stuff. Like, but comedy live streaming would be cool. Anything live streaming, people love events. People don't want games anymore. That was why my shit fell off, because I didn't want to. I did games, or I would do a drinking stream. That's the most money I ever made doing
drinking streams are crazy.
I used to play beer pong with my stream chat, and they pay me $1. Every $1, I would throw a pong at the thing, and if I missed, I had to take a drink. If not, they would take a cup away, and then if I lost, I would take a shot, and then I had incentives. So if I got to $50, I would take a shot, or like I would do more than that. It was like I would do painting, or if I got to $100, I bought a maid outfit, and I was like, $100. I'll fucking get in the maid outfit. Fucking within 15 minutes, it was $100, and I was like, "Fuck it, all right." Now, the next thing you know, I've made $600 that night, and I am in a maid outfit doing watercolors in a hot tub, or in like in an inflatable kiddie pool with water, which sounds fucking insane, but it's fun and chaotic, and I made $600. And I'm also being silly because I'm making fun of hot tub streamers.
Right. Oh my gosh. gosh, there's so much that I can do with what we've built.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that's tough with the lung for the vibes is, for me particularly, is I feel like once you get a stream going and you get your setup going, it's easy to just hop on and then hit the start button.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, you got prepared for your skits, and, you know, you got to clean up the bubbles afterwards, and I'm sure there's all of that too.
Yeah.
But when you have to do all those things, and then on top of that, set up your equipment every single time
is such a pain in the ass. And that's why I wish there was like a dedicated place. Like, that was the biggest issue for me, is like, because my entire living room was my stream setup. I never had to move a thing. And it impacted my personal life for sure.
Right. But then that's the thing, is now you have no living room.
Yeah. And that will also impact your mental health. But like, no, I think there's a lot of room to do cool stuff like that. What I've noticed is some of the recordings is like, it's really cool, but you almost need another mic for audience laughter.
Yeah,
because your quality is so good, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like, and I've clipped a lot of stuff for my to make a reel to try to send to people to get booked, and I always record the set with my phone no matter what. Then I splice in the audience laughter that I got from my phone with what your clip, you know, the video from your guys' stuff.
Yep.
But if you can find a way to incorporate all of that, that would be huge, because that's, I mean, comedy's not comedy without the laughs. People don't know when they laugh. At that point, we're watching a sitcom with no laugh track, and it feels uncanny.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the big things for the stream that would really benefit, so you can kind of like feel the energy of the room, and it just overall adds to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a guy. I'm gonna need a second guy for all the stuff that we're trying to do.
You can find somebody.
We'll find someone.
And you can more than welcome. Those two cameras that already connect to the computer that we did at the one time.
Yeah.
I got that with the tripods and some sandbags. You're more than welcome. I can bring them every time. Like, we can start doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff that can be done, but setting it all up beforehand is fucking crazy hard. And so yeah, I'll have to sit and really reflect on like some of the stuff, because I think it's really cool doing all this. But like, if we want it to like do well on the internet, I think that's something that needs some things that need to be adjusted. Because another problem, and just to be real, like, upfront about it, is like, the problem is you're trying to make two people happy at the same time. And right now it's like, what, maybe 6 people in the live stream, and then everybody else that's at the show. Sure. And then it like last night, great example. Courtney is like doing this thing to the camera, and it like made me feel weird. I didn't like it, because it's like, it's one of those things, and not to say Corey's fucking fantastic, but he's also in this new medium learning too, so he's like dancing to the camera, and while everyone's there like, get the fucking open mic started, let's get this fucking shit on the road, right? And it just feels weird, because it's like, well, we're the audience, we're here, why are you paying attention to us? Now we're not as important as the live stream people, right? I think that's like a balance to have too, of like, and then you bring up the live stream, and kind of nobody gives a shit about the live stream when they're there. No. So it's almost kind of weird bringing up the live stream. I almost think it's worth keeping it as like its own thing in the back end, and then like, you know, if somebody says something in the live stream, that's cool or whatever, because interaction's also important. Yes. But I think the show needs to be good enough that where it's almost not even needed to have audience interaction within the stream, and they're just watching it and commenting on it. Yeah. And then once that gets good enough, the show gets good enough where it's like no need for interaction, then you can incorporate that in. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, of course. I think it's going to be tough balancing those two things of making two different people happening. Because
we're still trying to make the show itself be good.
Joey said this last night, and I think it's so funny. It was so true. He just goes, "Yo, I've only been here 6 months. You know, we've only been streaming since 8 months. Yeah, and so it's like, we got a lot more work to do.
We absolutely
you know what
do.
I mean?
Yeah.
I think you give us 5 years." 5 long years. I mean, we're not even a year in. You give us 5 years, and we're doing all the things you're telling me to do, and we've figured out all the music. And that's the other thing, is like music and live music, and trying to figure out how to do that.
And the audio regulation, and it can get so tough. And that's one thing I've noticed that you've been struggling with, because it's a fucking hard thing to do, because that's what people go to college to learn how to do, and we're just learning it on the go, is like having to deal with somebody's mic's too quiet or too loud, and then people can't hear them, and then the bit gets missed, and like, you know, sometimes people are so quiet, and then the regulation, like audio needs to be controlled on the spot, and that can be complicated. And then maybe like, Josh, the pianist, will make a fun little riff, or he's doing a song and it's fun, but no one can hear him. So all they hear is like the piano playing, and he's like, and we don't know what he's saying. And then he'll be like, "Oh, that was good, right, guys?" And we're like, "We don't know because we didn't hear you." So we're sitting here and we feel uncomfortable because now the connection with the audience has become awkward.
Yep.
And it's not anyone's fault other than just the audio has to be regulated in this exact perfect way, which is a fucking hard thing to do.
Yep. And then not only that, you have when someone's mic is too quiet, you have in that moment, there's 10 different things that could be going on. Number one, the microphone could be off. And if you miss that, you're doing the other 9 things, rather it's just a flip of a switch on the actual microphone. Last night, we just had a show last night. That's all we're talking about it. Yeah. We had different speakers just for the mics, and then the band was saying that the music was too quiet.
I thought the music was fine.
So that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But the band members were saying that they couldn't hear the instruments individually, so they couldn't keep time together. And I even, like Joey said that to me, Joey and Josh, they broke that down to me, and I was like, okay.
I have a solution for that.
Yeah.
But it's really, it's going to involve a lot of more logistics.
Hit me.
The best thing about this podcast here is one of my favorite things for any podcast I listen to is that I can hear myself in these headphones. And they need that. And that's going to be hard.
I can figure it out.
All musicians have it.
Yeah.
They all have it. They all have their earpiece that they can hear shit in. However that has to be done. That's the best way. And then also they all hear each other. And then I think that's just like the best way to go about doing it. Because then what happens is then they're trying to communicate, and then it gets weird because sometimes there's a comic going up, and this is something I need to talk to them about. They're like trying to talk to each other while a comic's going up, which A, it's like super disrespectful because listen to the comic, and B, we all fucking hear you chatting. And it's like maybe you got to work out some logistic stuff or whatever, but like that's got to stop. It's like one of those things that gets really frustrating.
Right.
And I know that's more of like a dealing with personality situation opposed to the logistics.
Yep.
But that will take me out so fast. And you're talking to someone who's hypersensitive to this shit because I've been doing it for so long through like improv and streaming and now comedy. I've only been doing comedy like a little over a year.
Sure.
But like all those things matter. All those things are super important. When you look at people doing it at the highest level, you're never seeing the band, like, you hear the band fucking whispering, or you see them whispering to each other, who gives a fuck? But when we hear them, it's like...
It's a real problem.
Yeah, and it's like, well, they don't care about the guy that's doing, or the guy or girl that's doing comedy right now. Why should we?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I think it puts a real downer. I think sometimes, too, they're like... It's just tough. It's a tough situation because they do need to communicate, but we don't really know how.
Yep.
And sometimes they're being too loud. Sometimes the comedian's quiet and they're like used to somebody who's a little bit louder. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out the headphone.
That's just live
thing.
regulation.
We're gonna have to figure out this headphone thing. Problem is, man, and I gotta be honest with you too. Is like, I agree with we need the headphones. We need to figure that out. I can't put any more money into this,
right.
dude. Like, I'm dried out, bro. Yeah. I'm fucking 3 Christmas presents and fucking 4 birthdays in.
Yep.
It's like, hey, can you give me my birthday present for my 26th birthday, Mom? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. And then, we have no one that's backing that financially, and we're working on a fucking shoestring budget here. And I think
not a shoestring, 0. The budget is $0.
Right. Yeah. Now that we've got everything, and it's like we're trying to piece it all together. That is the problem, right? And like I'm also like we're saying really as I make a little more money, I'm down to contributing and stuff. But now we don't not to go be all lame, like economy, but it's like we all can't afford right now to fucking contribute into stuff. Yeah.
So I think
the solution.
What's the solution?
Is to get good enough where we take it to a venue that already has the infrastructure for us.
Right.
Honestly, right. I mean, Fallout has a great PA system, like all that stuff, and then like there's a sound guy in the back. Like I did this show with them on last Wednesday. It was called Comedy Fusion.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic. All the audio regulation was fantastic. The lights, everything, fucking perfect. There's a whole booth in the back.
That's the other thing too. Is like when you get into those specific areas, you can have a sound guy come in and like look at where the speakers are placed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather, I'm going in, throwing the speakers down because I have 70 other things to work on.
Yeah. Where
it's like, I didn't know that there was going to be feedback. I didn't predict that there was going to be feedback. Now I got to deal with it. It's the middle of the show.
Yeah.
And also, I like being a tech guy. I like doing that stuff. I would like to riff with you guys on stage a little bit more.
Yeah. You're also a comedian, like first and foremost, right?
I'm a comedian. I did all this stuff to do stage time,
and that's where you have to watch out, because I the idea of like all this cool show stuff is fun, but sometimes at the end of the day you gotta like leave it for what it is, know we can improve over time, and just work on being funny.
Right.
When I first started comedy, I did photography and I had these cameras, so I would like shoot and film for people for spots, but then all they knew me as they knew me as the photo guy.
Right.
I literally had to stop. I had to leave the place I was at because they would never give me stage time, even when I killed. Like, it was really frustrating. Like, I had this show on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
They finally let me up on the big stage. They fucking murdered, and I like pointed to the person who ran the show, and I was like, "See, I fucking told you," and like, put me up more, please.
Yeah.
Never put me up again. And like, so it's one of those things where it's like, "Oh, will you come shoot for us?" Like, no, that's the whole reason I did this was for spots. Or they'll put me up when it's dead as a filler until more people get in. And it's like, so I left, and now I'm getting way more spots because I stopped doing that bullshit. And not saying what you're doing is bullshit. It's great, and you get opportunities for it. And so it works out.
And I love it. That's the other thing too. Is like, I don't hate doing it. It just becomes like, to a certain point, it's like, this is imperfect. This is imperfect. It's like,
you got too much.
Guys, it's not going to be perfect.
Nope.
I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean?
Unless you got 10 grand, it's not going to be perfect.
It's not going to be perfect unless I got 10 grand. And also, it's like, whatever, it's fine.
And at the end of the day, we're also all
people
amateurs.
Get there late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People get there late. It is what it is. I'm not talking shit. But the reality of it,
if we don't have time to set it up.
Yeah, we don't get time to set it up. We don't get time to set it up.
Yeah.
Period. I don't know what to tell you. Know what I mean? Like,
totally.
It is what it is. I don't hate that at all. I'm not saying that we should stop doing this, but it is like, well, guys, if we're not going to get there 3 hours before the show, it's not going to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need 3 hours, or I need a second pair of hands.
Yeah. Or let them have it set up and stay there for, you could set up earlier in the day or whatever.
Right. Which is, I don't know
You've
if
had
they
your
would
struggles with that. Yeah.
I'm not an employee there, technically. Technically, I don't work for Cold Town. I work on this show that's at Cold Town. So navigating that is tough. Also, it's hot as balls when I get there. You know what I mean? It's legitimately hot as shit. So when I get there and I'm trying to work and it's fucking almost 80 degrees in the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks. And it makes it like harder to deal with everything.
Yes,
so,
absolutely. And so like the first 30 minutes is just like, it's hot. I got to try to ignore this. Once the temperature starts coming down after an hour, it's like, okay, now I can like kind of think.
Yeah.
But then people start rolling in and
it's hot again.
It's like, it is what it is. But dude, that bubble stuff, I didn't say we would do bubbles. Maybe LEDs.
Yeah.
We got to figure something out where I'm streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, you can multi-stream. That's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy stuff. I would like more light control, like as far as the stage goes. Like getting a nice spotlight would be kind of sick.
I know.
That would be really fun.
I know.
But I'm trying to think of other things logistically, and I'll keep like throughout the weeks, like every time we do it, I'll think of more like things that we can add to incorporate.
Please.
But I think at the end of the day too, sometimes we're all trying to do too many things at once, and maybe it's like we narrow it down.
Well, you have to now.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You're not. What are you, George Carlin?
Right.
Where are you just gonna do stand up? That's done. This idea that you're just going to do stand-up and then you're going to get a sitcom.
Well, yeah, no sitcoms. I like the idea of stand-up. I think there's still room for it.
It's great.
Like, yeah.
And I've said this, too, before on the podcast. It's like, nothing is one thing anymore.
Yeah.
That's done. What's killed Tony? It's a stand-up show. Okay, really? It's like a show with stand-up on it. It has stand-up in it. There's real stand-up in it. But it's like, not really a stand-up show.
It's America's Got Talent for incels.
Right.
For being honest with ourselves.
Like, take the Super Bowl. What was the Super Bowl? It was football.
Yeah.
It's not really that anymore. How many people who tune in to the Super Bowl are watching for the actual football?
No, yeah, they're going for the halftime show.
They're going for the halftime show, the commercials, the Taylor Swift reactions. That's what they're there for. They're not necessarily there for the actual football. And that's why I think Along for the Vibes has a lot of potential, because it's like out in the open.
A fun variety show.
Right.
100%. I think it almost like, and I think like, we're the tail end. Hopefully nobody watches this. Not that I hope, just for me.
No, it's fine. This is always how it goes. You start off high energy, and then at the end, it just becomes like a regular conversation.
Right. And so like I think also it's like, well, we do the main show that's good once a month, but it's like also there's kind of booking anybody and everybody, and it's like, everything seems good, but then it's like one act, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And then,
yes.
But then that could be a fun little thing, like kind of like Kill Tony, where it's like somebody goes up and they're like, what the fuck was that? But it's like a silly spectacle type of situation.
Right.
I think there's also an avenue for different types of events, like Along for the Vibes, but it's not a comedy show, it's a game show.
Right.
Or it's like a different thing. 'Cause I love the idea of panelists. I talked to Courtney. That's the reason I started getting. He let me come every week. Is like I would love to do characters and come up as a different person and be like, after someone goes out, we could like riff for a little bit or something.
Right.
But there's so much going on. There's not enough room for that right now, and it's just like.
Well, I think it should be an hour and a half show.
Yeah.
I think we start at 9. The open mic's at 10:30. I think we have to go till like 10:25.
Mm-hmm.
Start right even before. We should start at 8:55 and then go all the way till 10:25, because then you get these sketches to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it feels a little tight.
Yeah.
With the show, with the time restraints a little bit.
We used to do 8-minute sets. Now we're doing 4. I'm not saying that's bad, but some of the best sets. One of the best sets I ever had was fucking an 8-minute set. There was like a bachelor party. It might have been someone you knew or something.
Yes, I remember that show. Yeah. That show was phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. Everybody
we
fucking
did
murdered.
Great. Yeah. That show.
So I don't know. Yeah, there's like different things to work through. The problem is too, it's like
that's so funny looking back at it now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I can only think the problem is I love this idea. I realized I had my hands in too many pots. Where I first and foremost want to get better at stand up and become a better writer.
Right.
And I love the show. It's like I want to help out logistically too, but then it's like I put my too many hands in everything, then I'm like not becoming a better stand up.
Right.
And that's like the becoming a better stand up is the precursor to making shows better, which is the precursor to having a cool fun thing that people like to watch.
I think I guess because the world's ending, we're all on the same time spectrum.
Of course. But yeah.
I think you and me also have a different perspective because you're in your 30s. I'm 21.
What are you trying to say? I don't got a lot of time left? You think I don't got a lot of fucking time left? You think I got my genetic...
We got some old dirt here. We got an onk.
My eggs are drying up. Trying to get in.
I think if I was... where you are, I would focus a lot more on stand-up, too.
You have time to do whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I am definitely still a stand-up comedian. I still put most of all of my energy into stand-up comedy. But, I'm playing a long game here.
Yeah. We're all trying to,
We're all trying to, and I got a lot of time, and I'm not putting all my hands in one deck the way, I'm looking at things right now. I don't know if I want to say whatever. I don't think I'm funny enough. I don't think I'm talented enough to do just stand-up comedy. At least if I want to get big, by the time I'm 27, I got to kind of find something, like sort of a niche a little bit.
That's very funny.
And I'm not saying that it won't primarily be stand-up. That doesn't mean by the time, maybe get some money or whatever, then I start really focusing on stand-up. I probably would do that. That's what I would like to do. But I'm taking piano lessons. You know what I mean?
Nice. And there's nothing wrong with that, enriching yourself. How old are you again?
I'm 21.
Okay, first of all, you're the funniest 21-year-old other than fucking what is that kid's name? That Morrison something.
Oh, yes.
You know that kid I'm talking about with the mullet?
Yes.
That kid's a fucking phenom.
Hilarious.
That kid's so funny. I wish I remembered his name. But
yeah, I know it's slipping me.
You know what I'm talking about. But he's very funny. And then like dude, already you're funnier than 90% of the comics that are around and you're 21 years old. Like, at least the ones are like doing stuff professionally where it's like, there are guys doing it for 10 years, you're already funnier then.
Yeah.
And like, where it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, of course you're 21, you should be insecure.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Being insecure at 21 is important because you have to like shit on yourself a little bit, but then gain your confidence. And so you don't become an asshole. The idea of like, I need to be successful by 27 is hilarious because I felt the same way. And here I am, making shit money and trying to be comedy. And my streaming thing didn't work out. And so it's like, that's crazy. It takes more than that to like most 27-year-olds aren't successful unless they're a fucking AI engineer and they jerk off while they choke themselves, and that's the only fun they have in their life. And so like you have plenty of time. You already got a good fucking foothold. You're already funnier than most of the comics I know, and like you got plenty of time to become even funnier. So I wouldn't worry about that. And yeah, you should be dipping your toes in a lot of things. Just obviously like. Don't burn yourself out to where you hate the thing you love. Right. That's what happened to me. That's what happens to a lot of these comics. That's why they become bitter. The timelines, whatever, I think you fucking just focus on loving the art. That's what I've been trying to do is like, I'm not like, by 35 I need to become popular or famous or whatever. I just love stand-up. I love funny. I love funny so much, and all I want to do is figure out how to be funny. And I don't have a timeline because I'm going to, whatever or not, I'm going to do this the rest of my life, no matter what. Yeah. That's already a thing. Like, that's already what I've decided. I don't think I can not do this anymore.
No, I need a mic to talk shit into.
Yeah. So
no matter what.
Yeah. No matter what, maybe it's different mediums or whatever, but I think it's always going to be stand up, but then like also probably other stuff too, and that's fine. But like, cause I love doing this, chopping it up, shooting shit, doing, reacting to stuff. But like, so I think like whenever you come to that conclusion, stop putting like guidelines on yourself, like, you got plenty of time. Don't fucking, because you're going to stress yourself out being like, fuck, I'm 25. I got 2 more years to make this work. No, you don't. You got the rest of your life to make this work. Right. Most guys that become successful don't do it till they're in their late 30s.
I know. I don't know why I have. I think
we all do. It's a fucking generational United States, like, we need to be entrepreneurs and hustle type situation. Yeah. Like, and not to say that some of that isn't good and valuable, but like putting these like crazy guys as if your life ends at 27.
Right.
Your life starts at 30. I'll tell you that right fucking now. 27 was the worst year of my life.
Really?
I was miserable. I realized my streaming stuff wasn't working out. I was in a toxic relationship that I let someone walk all over me, and I learned so much from all those negative things in my life that I brought it into the life I live now. I'm so confident in me as myself as a person. I know I'm a good person. I care about people. I try my best to be funny. I know I'm decent. I know I have a lot of work to do, but I know I have a good foundation on me.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like I'm so comfortable in who I am. I'm having fun. And yeah, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment that is kind of small, but I have it decked out the way I like it. It's fun. I like the life I live. I could live in that apartment for the rest of my life, and I would still be pretty fucking happy. Obviously, do I want more? Yes, but like, if I keep thinking about more, it's going to impact my funny. And right now, all I care about is funny.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about stand-up, I think, is like, I feel like with other art forms, do you got to go soon? What time do you got to go?
Yeah, I give 5-10 minutes if possible.
5-10 minutes?
It's 6:30. I want to try to...
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Cool. The show starts at 8, and then I got to go back to my apartment.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, whatever you got to do, you got to do. You did more than enough.
No, dude, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. I keep going if I had the time.
Oh, shit, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
We were talking about not caring too much about money or like...
Oh, yes, got it. I think that's a weird thing about stand-up other than other art forms. Like with film or maybe with music, feels like the more serious you take it, maybe the better it gets. Maybe it might change. It might not be as fun or as fun of music, depending on what type of music or film you're going after.
Yeah.
But comedy, if you take comedy deadly seriously...
Yeah.
You're not going to be funny.
It sucks. Yeah, you start preaching.
Yeah, you gotta space yourself from like, oh, you got too serious here. Yep. You gotta, whatever you gotta do, whatever, to put a dick up your ass. Yep. I don't know.
But you become too full of yourself. Yes. You have a couple good sets, or you get a spot here, a spot there. You're like, I'm the fucking man.
Yeah.
Then you start losing who you are.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap this up. Because Tyler's got places to be that are better than this podcast.
I got places to be where they have bathrooms with hand soap.
That's goddamn right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 191.
God damn. I got like 8 of these things. 191 is crazy.
192, 191. It's 192, 191. Who gives a fuck? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the one, the only Tyler Nash. You can catch Tyler Nash. You can catch him at Along for the Vibes almost every single Friday. Do you have any other shows or things you want to plug?
Tyler Nash Comedy is my Instagram. Come back for episode 200. We're going to do lines of cocaine and burn the American flag. So
that's right. Thank you, everybody who's made it this far. God bless you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
That was excellent.